All right. Good evening, everybody, and good morning there in Australia. And for others, it might be a good afternoon. I love it when we can have this beautiful technology to tune in all over the world. It's absolutely a gift. And I just want to let you know I am Michelle Poe, and I am zooming in from Sioux Falls, South Dakota here in the U.S. And we are having an incredible special guest with us today. Her name is Joanne Shearer Parkin. And Joanne, I've known Joanne now for just over 6 years. And what's really, really neat is this business brings the greatest people together. And Joanne and I met because one of her employees at the time introduced an ABC Primetime Investigative Report to me. Her name is Nikki, and Nikki and Joanne actually used to work at the Heart Hospital in Sioux Falls together. And Nikki came to me and said, Michelle, I know you're passionate about people and health and entrepreneurial, you need to see this. But what was so incredible about that was Nikki did not know that I had been dealing with some massive health issues, things that I had been to Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, I'd been to neurologists all over the US, been battling with stuff for over 5 years. She didn't know that. She also didn't know that my dad died of a heart attack at the age of 42. She also didn't know that Shawn and I worked like mad. We both, he had his company and I had mine, and we were working a good 70 plus hours a week. Plus we had an online business. We said we worked that in the next in the crannies of our lives, but really it was really super late at night, and we were definitely working holidays and weekends and evenings. It was our baby and we loved it, but when you do that, you definitely have more of responsibility and less time. And she didn't know that we were having less time, I should say, away from our children. And I always say God just works in the most incredible ways. And when she brought this to me, she didn't know those things. But when you look at, what we have here with our company, if you haven't seen a video called the ABC Primetime Investigative Report, you need to go and watch it immediately following this. It's www.abcliveit.com. She shared that with me, and little did she know that she would change my health. Little did she know she would change our financial side of things. Little did she know she would give our family time freedom. And little did she know that we would grow personally in the most amazing ways. So if you're tuning in as a guest, we are so excited that you're here. Take a listen. You're going to be gifted incredibly by Joanne's knowledge and her background. And I'm going to share a little bit. I pulled up your biographical sketch. I know Joanne in and out, but I just, her sketch is so amazing that I just want to read it to you guys. Oh, it's just she's so humble, but I just have to. It says she may be described as a trendsetter, and that she absolutely is. She was awarded the Headliner Award from the Food Service Director magazine in 2004 and was quoted extensively in the Wall Street Journal in an article titled Hospital Food That Won't Make You Sick. She is the creator of the Prairie Mediterranean Diet, the Heart Puzzle Eating Guide, and is co-author of the Healthy Kitchen Cookbook. She has received numerous awards and national recognition for her commitment to creating healthy food environments. Joanne has numerous leadership positions, both within her state dietetic, association, and with the American Dietetic Association. Joanne has extensive experience in public relations, including numerous print, radio, cable, TV, and local TV interviews. She's a sought-after speaker with over 100 public speaking appearances in the past 10 years for both professional and lay audiences. And I can tell you, this woman, whenever anybody wants to talk about stuff that we've got, I'm like, ooh, Joanne is your girl. She is here in Sioux Falls. She started up the dietitian program at the Heart Hospital here. She's been a dietitian for over 40 years. I mean, you talk about a pioneer. She goes and she tells people what is out there. She researches things. And, when she was introduced to this by Dr. Mark Gordon, who's a cardiologist on our team here in Sioux Falls, she looked at it, and she may share a little bit more about it, but she's like, oh, this is what we've been educating our patients on for years. We've just never had a better answer than fruits and veggies and whatnot. So you guys are in for a treat. I'm going to bring on the beautiful, amazing Joanne Shearer Parkin. She's not only a friend, she is a mentor, and I just look up to you greatly. And I do also have to say that when Joanne got into this, her goal was, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, was to make an additional $2,000 or so that she could retire a little earlier.
Right.
And what happened is when you learn about this, you become passionate, you feel as if you have a responsibility to share it with the world. And Joanne was sharing, here and there, and in no time, she was able to get to that 2,000. And I know, Joanne, you've gone way past that. And she was able to retire early. She got married to an incredible, incredible man that she's got a couple soulmates, and he is right there with her, and now they have a home, and that was her dream, to have another home in Arizona and to retire when it's so cold here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So I'm going to let you take over here, Joanne. Thank you so much.
Oh gosh, Michelle, thank you for that. Oh my God, that's a wonderful, wonderful, amazing introduction, and I'm so honored to be able to present here to this group of people that joined by phone, and some of you are on by the webinar too. And so I just like what Michelle told you, is that I had been, I'd had a very, very wonderful, busy, very rewarding career in nutrition. I just really did love everything about my career in a helping profession and helping people. And when she told that I was a trendsetter and an innovator and an early adopter in my profession, so I was an early adopter in a number of areas, including the glycemic index, the fact that artificial sweeteners were harmful, not good for you, the fact also that dietary supplements played a critical and important role in complementing a healthy diet, and were needed and necessary in many cases, in many instances. And my passion and interest in dietary supplements started back probably, oh my gosh, I'm saying now, maybe 25 years ago, when I personally realized that I had nutrient deficiencies. I had 3 pregnancies close together, and found out that I had some health problems that arose because I had become deficient in some essential nutrients. And I realized then that if I, the registered dietitian that was eating so healthy and all of that, and if I developed some deficiencies and needed supplementation, well, what about everybody else out there? And so I started diving into the research and the literature, and this is what I've done my whole career. I've gone to a website, which is pubmed.gov. And for those of you out there that have never heard of it, it's PUB as in boy, MED as in dog, .gov. Anybody can go to that website. It is the US government website, which is the database of all the high quality peer-reviewed research. And so it's the most reliable, authoritative site if you want to know about if, for example, do raspberry ketones actually, are they validated to help you lose weight, like Dr. Oz said on one of his programs? You go to that website and type in raspberry ketones and see if it's really true, which it's not. But anyway, so this is what I've done my whole professional career. And so I did the same thing with dietary supplements, the same thing that I did with Protandim Nerve 2 when I saw this. And so as a result of that, I just started researching. And one of the things that I did after about 5 years, I developed a whole model, and I developed a whole educational program that I thought I could bring to registered dietitians. And so I finally got invited to speak before a group of registered dietitians. And they weren't really ready to hear what I had to say. Because again, if you're a pioneer and an early adopter in an area, you know what's going to happen? People are not going to be where you are. Honestly, they're just not. And they didn't receive well what I had to say. But I wasn't deterred, and I think that's what has helped me with Lifevantage. I see, and I know that with Lifevantage, I see that like what I did years ago with the dietary supplements when I adopted the glycemic index within my practice 20 years before the registered other dietitians did. I could see this before they could. I don't know what it is about me, but in my profession, but it was just me. And I could see that where this was going, the trends, and where this was leading. I just had this insight, I think. And so in 2011, when Dr. Mark Gordon stopped by my office and he invited me to a Lifevantage presentation where I first heard about Protandim Nerve 2 And when I saw that there were 7 high-quality peer-reviewed research studies where you could go to pubmed.gov, type in Protandim, and these studies would pop up, I was impressed that there was that amount of high-quality peer-reviewed research, because I knew that dietary supplements, was hard to get that in the dietary supplement world. And secondly, like Michelle was saying, is that Protandim Nerve 2, it lowers oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. Now, I was very well versed in the science of oxidative stress. I had learned about oxidative stress actually back starting when I was a diabetes educator, which probably now is also about 25, 30 years ago. And I'd learned way back then that, that the science was showing that the complications of diabetes were related or probably highly caused by oxidative stress. And then when I started in cardiovascular nutrition and working at the Avera Heart Hospital, where I was the head dietitian, and when I went to pubmed.gov, what I found out was that back in 2000, 2001, is that the leading theory on why you get cardiovascular disease was because of oxidative stress, right? Oxidative stress. And so I did further research, found out that the Mediterranean diet was the most scientifically validated dietary pattern to reduce oxidative stress. And because it reduced oxidative stress, it also reduced mortality, the death rate from cancer and heart disease. Listen, the low-fat, low-cholesterol diet didn't have that kind of research, right? Because it didn't lower oxidative stress like the Mediterranean diet. And so I knew this in 2001. That's why I was the first dietitian in the United States to introduce a Mediterranean diet into a hospital. And I designed my own eating guide, my own diet, because guess what? There wasn't anything out there. So I called it Prairie Mediterranean because, listen, I'm in South Dakota. This is farmer's world out here. 70% of our patients at the hospital are farmers. Do you think that you say, oh my gosh, I got this great Mediterranean diet, I want you to go home and eat this diet? They're going to go, what's that? You know, I'm like, what about my meat and potatoes? But anyway, so I had to make it marketable too. So I had to become a good marketer too. So that really helped me with Lifevantage, actually. You know, so I had to learn, you know, how to communicate and market this to the patients and to everybody. So that's why I came up with this I came up with Prairie Mediterranean, the best of the East of the West, you know, try to market it. Because it was a cardio, heart protective diet. Didn't talk about cholesterol at all. Dietary cholesterol has no relationship to your cardiovascular disease status. So anyway, so this all fit together for me. So when Dr. Gordon showed this to me, you know, a highly respected cardiologist that I worked with and I knew he was a genius in prevention and in nutrition. And so when he showed this to me, and I thought, well, this is a no-brainer. You take your heart protective Mediterranean diet, you combine it with this 1 pill a day, scientifically validated to reduce oxidative stress 40%, 30 days. I knew there was nothing in a tablet or a pill to do that. I thought, this is so powerful. This is going to change the health of so many people. And I saw it the day that I saw it, I got it. And I knew that I needed to get out there and share this with others. And so that's why I signed up as a distributor that day. I went in the computer and I enrolled myself and through Dr. Gordon's website. And I just got started very, very slowly. You know, like everybody does, I made my list of names, started with family and friends. And I remember what my first conversation with Dr. Gordon was this, like probably some of you had with the person who enrolled you, or if you're a guest here, you're thinking this. You know, my first thought was, you know, this is cool, this is great, but I am so busy. How am I going to fit this into my current life? My husband of 32 years had just passed away the year before, late in 2009, and this was early 2011. I was running his rental business. I had 11 rental units in 2 states. Besides, I lived in this fourplex, I had this aging fourplex, this beautiful historical property, but a ton of maintenance for me to take care of, right? And as Michelle told you, I was in leadership positions in my both state and National Dietetic Association. It's like my plate was so full. It was so full. And I told Dr. Gordon that. I said, I mean, I think this is great, but you know, how about you take my list of names And he said, well, listen, this is how easy and simple this business is. What you do is that you call your friends, ask your friends, whatever, ask them if they would watch this ABC Primetime Investigative Report. Ask them to watch it, and then ask them a couple questions, explain a little bit about what is oxidative stress, and then ask them if they could see they could be taking this product. And if they want it, they go to your replicated website, they can order it, it gets shipped to you, and then the company deposits a check in your checking account the following week. And I thought, oh, that is simple. Maybe I could do that. And you know what? That's exactly what I still do to this day, is I just tell people they've got to watch this because it's impossible. I think that video, ABC Primetime Investigative Report, it does 10 times better job than I can in explaining what it is, what Protandim Nerve 2 does in your body. And that is the best thing. So if you're new here or you're a guest here and you're loving and thinking about what you're liking, what you're hearing, this is all how simple it is to share this with other people, is you just have to push play. And then what I would do is that I would get them in front of Dr. Mark Gordon. Well, today we have awesome, amazing webinars with people who can do that. It's just amazing how this has grown and expanded. So with that, I'm going to take about, I'm going to just, Michelle, I might just share my screen and just talk a little bit and bring up for the guests that are on.
Wonderful.
And then just bring up and talk a little bit, about oxidative stress, our product, and then talk a little briefly about our business opportunities. So I am going to see if I can bring up a few slides here so I can go through that in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So I am going to go to this slide. I'm going to start with this. Because after that ABC Primetime Investigative Report aired in 2005, our company was not prepared for the onslaught of orders, like $5 million in orders that came in the next month. So it actually took Dr. McCord and his little biotech company a couple years actually to get the product out on the shelf. So it first was sold in the retail market, and they also tried selling Protandim Nerve 2 through the internet. But there were a couple reasons why Protandim Nerve 2 did not sell on the retail shelves in Walmart and CVS pharmacies and GNCs of the world. A couple reasons. One was because the Protandim Nerve 2 bottle was sitting on the shelf with the antioxidant vitamins and those supplements. And what you're going to learn here in the next few minutes is that Protandim Nerve 2, it's not a mineral, it's not a vitamin, and it's not an antioxidant. It's totally, totally different. It works totally different. It is in a new category of drugs and supplements called NRF2. We'll see that on the screen if you're logging in on your computer. NRF2 activators. Whole new category of drugs and supplements that work entirely different than anything out there. And so that was one reason. And then the other reason was that people didn't, the education piece. People had 2 years ago, the ABC Primetime Award. People hadn't seen that by now, right? 2, 3, 4 years later. And also, the Protandim Nerve 2 was selling for $49.95 a bottle on the retail shelves. What were the antioxidant supplements? $8 and $10 a bottle. So the sales were kind of languishing until 2009. The company decided to change marketing channels, and they switched over to network marketing. And why? Because there is a story to be told. There's education to be for the consumer on this product. And that's what I'm doing here. People will say, I don't know, I'm not a salesperson. I can't sell. I can't do that. Well, I have to tell you, I'm not a salesperson either. I've never been in professional sales. But if you can tell a story, you can be successful with this. And it's no different than, think about this, word of mouth marketing. My best analogy I can think of is my auto mechanic, Carl. Carl has his own auto mechanic shop. He's an amazing auto mechanic, and he charges reasonable prices. I bet I have sent 20 customers to Carl, right? And you know what? I didn't get a check back from Carl, right? A thank you check. Well, this is the difference with network marketing. You're doing basically the same thing. You're just sharing something you're excited about. The thing that's nice about it, you'll actually get paid for the marketing that you're doing. Well, don't you think that was a good decision for our company? Because look what happened to our growth, $4 million to $200 million. Our company is a publicly traded company. In 2014-15, Forbes.com surveyed all the publicly traded companies out there and said that our company, Lifevantage, was the #5 best performing publicly traded company in the United States. So just think how far our company has come from this little biotech company in 2005 to 2017 now. Okay, so we're really have really made progress. A good financially solid company. The next screen is about oxidative stress. What is oxidative stress? Best way to describe it is the rusting of your body from the inside out. It's kind of like an apple. When you put an apple on the countertop, you cut it, you put it out there, it turns brown. It's oxidation on the apple. That's oxidative stress, is oxidation going on in your body. It is the damage done to your body from these toxic molecules called free radicals. And as you learn all about that in the video, and they talk about how it's associated with all of these various chronic diseases of aging. And so I think that the main thing, of course, I'm going to be 68 next month. And then when I saw this at age 61, I thought, well, this is a no-brainer, of course, because I already knew this. And so I thought, I'm healthy, I'm very healthy, I'm going to take this pill. I have to say 6.5 years later, I still don't have any of those, not diagnosed with any of those chronic diseases of aging. So don't you think it's working in my body? I think so. My little diagram here draws a connection between oxidative stress and antioxidants. Another word for the free radicals is oxidants. So what do we need to combat those oxidants? We need antioxidants, right? And there's a huge difference now between those that we take externally in foods and supplements and those that our bodies make internally. Most people out there probably know a lot about the external ones, right? That's been big time in the news about how we need antioxidants. And now you know why we need antioxidants, right? We got to combat and destroy the free radicals. But, most of us heard about the external ones, right? You all know about that, about vitamin C and vitamin E and resveratrol, right? You know about those. But most of us have never heard of internal antioxidant enzymes, right? Never heard of this before. Never heard that our bodies made them, right? I didn't know about this on myself until about the time I joined the heart hospital. I didn't know that either. The thing that's really interesting is that your body cannot make, you cannot take these internal cellular antioxidants in a pill. You have to get your body to make them. All right? You can't, because these antioxidants in your body that your cells make are proteins. And you can't take them in a pill. Now, some people have said they've bought a bottle that says glutathione in the pill, but it's going to get digested in your stomach, so you're not going to get any benefit from it. And so what is unique about Protandim is that it activates. Remember I said that Protandim is technically not a supplement in terms of you're supplementing your diet. It is a cellular activator. So what's the difference? It activates our bodies to make these antioxidant enzymes. And you can see by my diagram, they are up to 1 million times more powerful than what you get externally in foods and supplements. So if you are going to handle this barrage of 300 septillion free radicals every day in the body, what's the better way to do it? It's a no-brainer, right? You want 1,000,000 to 1, right? From the cellular antioxidants versus the external ones. Protandim is a simple concept. It's these 5 common herbals that work together in synergy, increase, that are 1,800% more effective than taken individually. So that's how we get the potency of Protandim Nerve 2 and how it is able to completely eliminate the oxidative stress that comes with aging. So a potent little pill, absolutely potent. Nerve 2 activation, I'm not going to go into much detail on that, but just to say that it is the most important anti-aging pathway in your human body. And if you're a younger person here thinking, Well, you know, I'm 28, you know, gosh, you know, that's for my grandmother, right? Um, just to know that oxidative stress starts going up after age 20. So if you're out there and you're 28, I hate to tell you, but you are aging as you're sitting there. It's just happening. You know, the research on Protandim Nrf2 just is amazing. It speaks for itself. We now have 26 peer-reviewed studies, lots of tremendous research institutes and centers that have been researching Protandim Nrf2 and have published studies. Just in 2016, we had research coming out from Amsterdam, University Medical Center Amsterdam, from University of Montreal, the Canadian Institutes of Health Research, and then our own U.S. government, National Institutes of Health, which is the research arm of our U.S. government, funded a study on Protandim Nrf2. And what that study found is that of all the drugs and all the supplements that they've studied, that Protandim Nrf2 is the only supplement that was scientifically validated to extend lifespan. Let me repeat that again. It is the only dietary supplement funded by NIH study that validates that our product, our flagship product, Protandim Nrf2, the only dietary supplement scientifically validated to extend lifespan. And I remember, if you go back to that ABC Primetime Investigative Report, and Dr. Joe McCord at the end, he says to the reporter, he says, you know, I can't guarantee that it's going to cure any of your diseases or treat any of your diseases, or I can't guarantee that it is going to extend lifespan or extend your life. And if you even remember earlier in the video, they even say that earlier, that, you know, maybe someday we will have the research that will be able to say that. And guess what? We now have the research that we can say that Protandim Nrf2 will extend your lifespan. And so, you know, what more do you really need to know about Protandim Nrf2 than that when you talk, you know, when talking to people? And that's what I tell them. I'm telling them, you know, do you want to age slow or do you want to age fast? Well, this is a way to age slower, you know. And there is a wonderful little 2-minute video on this study that I would highly encourage you to watch that. I'm not going to play that today. But we do have more products in our product catalog, and I'm not going to get into a lot of detail about that. I just want to touch briefly on this one, and that is that we have a companion product to Protandim Nrf2. It's called Protandim Nrf1. A lot of people ask me, why didn't we have Protandim Nrf1 before the 2? Well, it's just that this is just the way the science goes. These two products are in it's in a new category. And if you saw at the beginning, we talked about Lifevantage at the forefront of nutrigenomics. That's a really big, long word. You don't have to remember that. You don't have to memorize it. You don't have to know about it because we have a video that will tell you all about it. But basically, it just means modifying your genetics and your genes with nutrition. And that's what these products do. They actually get down right to the level of your genes, turn down the bad ones and turn on the good ones. And so these are really what we call nutrigenomic products. I'm not going to get into more detail on this just because of the time. We are first to market with Nrf2 skincare. So the same Nrf2 activation, anti-aging validated pathway that's in the pill, Protandim pill, is in a skincare system, and we are first to market with this with Nrf2 skincare. And we have wonderful pictures and videos. We are first to market with Protandim. Again, it's Protandim for our canine friends. They've added fish oils and some collagen to the Protandim. It's a complete supplement for dogs. Awesome, amazing product. If you love your dog, you want to get them on this product. We also have Physique line of weight management products. I could spend an hour just talking about these products. They're so absolutely phenomenal and amazing. I can, I guess I have to say, in the beginning, when I first heard a company was coming out with these, it's been about 2 years in the market. I've just seen so many products in this category that are, what I want to say, a little hyped up and maybe not all that great for you. this product line is completely different, and I'd love to talk to anybody more about it. This is our probiotic. It's a part of our weight management system. I mean, just think about this. The first thing that you wanted with our company, our approach is about getting you healthy. So the whole approach is starting with your gut, and so that you have a healthy gut with a probiotic. It's just amazing. We have Active Smart Energy Brain Performance Drink, another awesome product, I would say in a category of its own. And so how in the world do you get started with our products? I mean, how do you, if you like what you've been hearing, I hope you have, and you'd be like me, you want to get that pill in your body right today. That's what I did. I gave Dr. Gordon $50 in cash, and I went home with a bottle of Protandim Nerve 2 because I wanted to get the pill in my body that day. That's how passionate I was when I saw this. This what's on your screen now is about how you can buy it wholesale as a preferred customer on a monthly loyalty program. It's a great program. And so if you're guests here, you can get back the person invited. We're going to tell you all about this great program and just what a great price point we have on our products, and they're very affordable, and how you can even get some free shipping on some of our bundles of products. And that's really what really also will help them to make even more affordable is the fact that you can get some free shipping on some of our products. Now, the other option and the opportunity for you would be to purchase one of our enrollment packs. And I did this day one. So if you're thinking about people that you would like to share this with, and if you're a customer, if you're a guest here, you'll want to ask about that with the person who invited you. And this will give you a distributor number. And so when you go and share this with people, you'll start to get paid for just getting out there and telling a story, right? On sending out that video. And when you do that, our company pays very, very, very generously. For every dollar that comes into the company, about 45 cents of every dollar goes back to the distributors in income. And as Michelle said in the introduction, I was looking for an extra couple $1,000s a month in income when I started with Lifevantage. And within a year, I had reached that Premier Pro 5 level. And I needed that, because of my husband died, even though we thought we had planned well. I really, really didn't want to just, get by in retirement. I wanted to have money to travel and do the fun things that I wanted to do. I needed that extra $2,000 a month. And so that really was phenomenal, but I didn't just stay there. Within a year, it reached the Pro 6, almost Pro 7 level, and it was replaced my income at the heart hospital. And so I was able to walk out of my windowless office and into this newfound freedom. And as I said earlier, I live in Arizona in the wintertime and have a home here in South Dakota. So I have both financial freedom and I have time freedom, and there is absolutely nothing like that. My daughter just was pregnant this last year, just had a baby in April, and she was sick during her pregnancy. And, because of this business, I was able to take off 3 weeks and go stay with her and help her during her pregnancy and take care of her. Well, I was gone. The check still came in. The check still came, still got deposited in my checking account. My income actually grew a little during that time when I was there with my daughter and taking care of her. And that is because our company pays residual income. You do the work once and you get paid over and over again. And the residual income is about 95% of what I earn every month, because once you build that network, which may take 2 to 5 years, to get to that point where you're really achieving and earning all 3 of these residual income bonuses. But again, like I said, our company is generous and they pay very well. And this slide talks about the timing and where we are. We're just kind of barely scratching the surface with our products. I can't believe people have never heard of Lifevantage. They've never heard of our products. We are not at branding or critical mass. We're not there yet. So it's really once in a lifetime opportunity for you. If you're looking for something, this is the right place at the right time. But maybe you're not really, maybe that's what you're looking for is better health. Maybe that's really what you see out of this, and you just really want to know about our product line. So if you're a guest here today, get back the person who invited you and say, hey, I really want to know more about the products. I really love what I'm hearing. Maybe you're like me and you want to share this with others and you want to get the word out to family and friends, and then ask about one of the options with the enrollment paths. Or do you need more information? When you start hearing these long terms like oxidative stress and free radicals, I mean, kind of a lot to try to digest. And is this really the real deal? And so you probably, maybe if you need more information, we welcome you. We really welcome you to investigate, because we know that what you're going to find out there is going to validate everything that I've said tonight. So with that, Michelle, I'm going to turn this back over to you. And I don't know questions maybe? Do we have time? Or I guess I've gone over time.
You're wonderful. You're wonderful. I'll wrap it up, and then if I can stop the recording, then if anybody has questions, for sure. I just want to thank you so much. I've been receiving texts during this, and people just absolutely adore you and your simplicity. And, I just look at you and know the things that you've done and the things that you've accomplished. And she and her husband, they go on these long trips in the Grand Canyon and go hiking and take photography. I mean, they go play in pickleball, I think, every day that they're in Arizona. And I'm sure you found some courts here in Sioux Falls as well.
We found the pickleball courts. You bet.
Oh, good. Yes, I figured so. It's just beautiful. And it's that Joanne, when I asked her to do this, she immediately is yes, so excited. And that's what we have here at our company too. She mentioned there's these big words. What is oxidative stress? What is PubMed? I didn't know what that was either when we first got started. What are all these things? But what you will find, like she said, is it is all real. And that's one of the things that I always want to stress and my heart just is out there is that this is real. And when you go out there and you become bulletproof and you realize that this stuff is real, and then you start meeting people like Joanne that immediately says, absolutely. She's set. She's got her retirement. She's got, everything going for her. She could just be out doing her thing and living her life, but she wants to help everybody get to where they want to go. And that's whether it's education on the products, whether or not it's education on how this business works, whether it's, just sharing stories and building that belief. But the people here are just absolutely incredible. And Joanne, let me ask you a question one more time.
Okay.
So do we have the only product on the planet proven to lower what's called oxidative stress that's known to be the root cause of disease in all tested mammals at this point?
That is true. According
yes.
to that is. That
okay.
is
so
National Institutes of Health. Now there are some studies out there with other products that the
yes.
other companies have probably funded and published on their products, but I'm talking about the U.S. government funded studies.
Yes.
I mean, I'm talking like the National Institutes of Health.
Yes.
I don't know if you know how big a deal, probably for those of you that don't know about research, about how difficult it is and how difficult it would be for a little dietary supplement company like Lifevantage to get the government to actually study their product. I don't know of a branded supplement that has ever happened. And the NIH and their institute that actually conducted the study the institute is called the National Institutes on Aging, this branch of NIH that actually conducted the study. They've been doing these studies for now going on, I think, 13 to 16 years, something like that. So they've been looking at a number of drugs and supplements. What's so increasing is 2 of the ingredients in Protandim have already been studied by NIH. That would be turmeric and green tea extract. And they already studied those supplements for 3 years, like they did with Protandim. Those 2 individual ingredients did not extend lifespan in these mice, okay? But Protandim Nerf 2, when you added those 3 together in that very specific ratio and combined together, that formula, right, activates the Nerf2 protein. So the power of Protandim is through this Nerf2 NRF2 pathway, right? It's not these individual ingredients. It's the synergy of the 5 that activate that pathway. And when you kind of start wrapping your brain around this, you go, wow, Just think it's almost like the ABC primetime investigative report and those people, ABC, when they saw that study. This sounds too good to be true. Can it be true? And it is true. That's really what it does. And it's that's why people in the beginning, if you're skeptical about it in the beginning, thinking, come on, is that real? It is. And just think, 6.5 years ago, I was very impressed then. And I mean, every year, the research, the validation gets better. And not only do we have Nerve 2 and Protandim in the pill for the adults and for us humans, just think, we've got the skincare on the outside. People today were telling me that I looked younger than when they first met me. Gosh, that Nerve 2 skincare works great. Seriously, it's working. So I'm 6 years older, but don't look at you. That's great. I'll take it, man. Yes. Wonderful. But it's also about the health of your skin. It's just not about looking good. It's about being healthy. I want to be healthy on the inside and the outside, right?
Absolutely.
And so, Protandim Nerve 2 for the dogs. Nobody's got that. We were first to market on that. So our company is boy, we've got something really special. And we have no competition, and there's no really competitors out there that have anything of this quality and this kind of validation in science. So get out there and go for it.
Yes, and this business, you guys, is real. Shawn and I had absolutely no idea what we were doing. We had never done anything like this in our lives, and honestly never looked into it. Go out and share with your heart, but know that this business is real, and making money while you're sleeping is very important. And it's not about making money and getting the big houses and getting all of this. It's to have that quality time. It's about being where you need to be, like with Joanne with her daughter, when she needed to be there for her daughter, or being, able to call up my best friend, after her son was diagnosed with cancer and say, do you need me to come up? We can come up however long that you need us. We can come and stay indefinitely, help take care of the kids. There's no greater gift than not having to say to a boss, can I take the time off, and worry about how long can you take off? Will you get paid if you step away and focus on her other kids while their brother is going to the hospital 4 hours away from them? Just being, scared of what's going on, where we could, be focused, where our entire family could go and do that and be present and to be with the people, that needed the support. And that is what is so beautiful. And when you have products like we have, when you have a corporate staff like we have, when you have a compensation like we have, and when you have a community of people that work together like this, it truly is a perfect storm. I can't stress that enough. So get back to the person that invited you here tonight, today in the morning for Australia there, and just share where you're at. If you're interested in getting on these products, just let them know. If you're interested and you need some more information, like, hey, what about this? What about that? Where do I go? Can you send me? I just say we're connectors. We connect people. If you want to talk to somebody about something specific, we have resources of so many people that are skilled in so many different areas. Or if you're like, I am Rolodexing so many people, I see this, I get it, we can get you started right away. So have a great rest of your day, Joanne. Bless you. Thank you for being here as always.
Okay.
Love you. All right, everybody. I'll stop this recording here.